Moon boys worldwide are right now watching in anticipation as the Bitcoin supply on exchanges dwindles to zero. And overwhelming evidence is right now flashing in our faces that something big isn't about to come, but something very big is about to come. So if you believe this pump is going to be bigger than you could quite literally ever imagine, hit that like and subscribe. Get signed up with FMX below. No VPN or KYC required to trade or buy Bitcoin. And without any further ado, the price of Bitcoin as of today is having a little itsy bitsy move up. But for the most part, over the past couple of days, we've been ranging above 100K, which in all honesty is the only thing that matters at this moment. Any type of throwback to 100K or even down to this 50-day moving average at about 21-day moving average at about 97 or 98 is totally normal. And I actually want to look at a few other things in regard to that scenario. But ultimately, you might be asking yourself, has the juice been let loose? But what if I told you that the juice hasn't even begun to be let loose? That might sound pretty big to you. And the reason that it might sound big to you is because it is very big. So we see Senator Cynthia Lummis also is urging the US to eliminate tax on Bitcoin and crypto companies. That would be ginormous. That would usher in more adoption, more interest than almost maybe any other thing we've seen over the past history of Bitcoin. That would be ginormous. We see Dubai is actually the first government to accept Bitcoin and crypto in the Middle East. Bitcoin is spreading globally. Currently, Trump is in the Middle East for the next few days, giving talks and creating deals with, different countries. And potentially, as we all know, Dubai is, essentially Dubai is probably the most Bitcoin-friendly place on the planet. And I think that adoption is going to continue, and I think it's going to spread throughout the world as well. We see Bitcoin, obviously, if we compare Bitcoin to the first halving in blue, the second halving in green, the third in pink here, we have a long way to go, and we should also expect Bitcoin to go a lot higher before we expect any type of bear market. But as I've said many times before, this cycle is the first one that has fundamentally changed. The very first thing that fundamentally changed was Bitcoin hitting all-time highs before the halving. There's many other things and reasons why this cycle is fundamentally different, right? I used to get comments from people saying things like, oh, well, the cycles are going to keep playing out because, it's not really getting adoption. Nobody uses it, all of this. If you fast forward to where we are in 2025, literally it is being adopted by the largest institutions on the planet. There is not any other institutions bigger than the ones that are currently, there's like many more that can adopt it, but the biggest ones, right, including like BlackRock, are quite literally like championing Bitcoin right now. This is fundamentally, it's a shift in how the world is viewing monetary policy and where Bitcoin fits in that, the answer to inflation and so many other things that Bitcoin, whether you like it or not, solves. We also see that if we look at Bitcoin on a chart, it's very clear. Whether you look at the RSI and MACD, especially on the weekly chart, very clear. It looks like we're getting ready for the next major move up, potentially the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest move of this bull cycle so far. With that doesn't mean we might not have a pullback in the next couple of days. As you see, will we get a pullback to the 21-day moving average? Will we have to retest 100? Maybe. All in a bigger picture could just be a setup of an inverse head and shoulder continuation of where we bust past 150K per Bitcoin. I personally think we are going to see Bitcoin go past 100K sooner than later. We also see corporate Bitcoin purchases have now outweighed the supply of new Bitcoin by over 3x in 2025. Corporate holdings are outweighing all of the new supply being created by over 3 times. That's just corporate holdings. And this is the very first bull cycle where that's ever happened. So again, this is fundamentally a different bull market, fundamentally. Maybe the cycles are dead. If ever, this would be the most likely time that they are. And there is also very little Bitcoin left on exchanges. And the miners aren't selling, right? Look at this trend that really began back in 2024. It's been going on for a little longer than that, but it really has been accelerating since 2024 of Bitcoin on exchanges just plummeting. This is not zero down here. There's still roughly about 2 million Bitcoin left on exchanges, but it's very clear where this trend is going. It's very clear. And the real demand of Bitcoin, as it increases, where where is the Bitcoin that people want to buy going to be coming from when they want to buy it? Well, people will start selling it just at higher prices. A simple supply and demand. Bitcoin is likely to go much higher from here, and there's a million reasons why. That's just another metric, is that there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, right? And there's estimated a couple million lost permanently. There's less than 20 million Bitcoin that people can ever acquire. And if we look at the updated M2 versus Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin also has a long way to go if we are going to continue to follow this M2 money supply increase, which it very much looks like we are. I don't see, there's no good reason or good argument for why we aren't going to do that in the short term. So likely, I think Bitcoin has a long way to go in the very short near future. Again, that doesn't mean we can't have a pullback in a day or two. That's not what anyone is saying. But specifically, if you look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin as well, RSI led the MACD, and the MACD as well has just gotten a bullish cross as of the last few days. This is the very first tick into the green here on the MACD since back in October of 2024, when Bitcoin was around 60K and it went up to 110K. This is likely, we're likely heading into the next major move to the upside of this market with the M2. Again, there's so many things leading this. The stock market as well, the S&P 500 as well, right here on the weekly chart has just gotten above its 50-week moving average for the first time since falling below it a couple of months ago. The stock market looks bullish. It looks like it's initiating a recovery. That is also very bullish for Bitcoin. Guys, I mean, because you think like, okay, well, what are the things that can help Bitcoin, or what are the things that can hurt Bitcoin? Literally everything right now is pointing to Bitcoin looking very strong and going up and continuing to go up for a very long amount of time, very high, going up extremely high. US dollar still looks awful. It's right around 101, but overall it's been in a downtrend for a very long time. Let me get rid of my camera. You can see it's been on a downtrend for a while, really since this year started, just as we expect with Trump, just like his first time in office, first 4 years, the US dollar created as well. But the S&P is looking good today. Actually, yeah, we look at the S&P is up about 1%. NASDAQ is up almost 2%. Dow Jones is actually slightly down, but yeah, overall, I think this market is ready for recovery, and I think that Bitcoin especially is so primed and has been outperforming the stock market, as you can see here, in the last couple of months. And I think we haven't seen much yet. I think that a lot of this sideways, a lot of this consolidation, a lot of this buildup, we haven't seen the reward of it yet, meaning the reward is going to be when we blast above $200,000 per coin. I think it's going to happen sooner than later. That doesn't mean we're going straight up. Like I said, maybe we can have a retest of this zone. I mean, for pizza's sake, we spent so much time here. This was a big level of support right here, and then it became resistance during this trend back basically the first 4 months of 2025. But you can see here, we're like, I mean, how far away are we from new all-time highs? We're like a 5 or 6%, we're like a 5% pump away. And that can happen like that. That can happen like so quickly. So again, when I was bullish right here, as many other people were, bullish right here, and now we are here up about another, I mean, we're up like, I don't know, 30% since then. And now we're just a couple of percent from all-time highs. I don't see as many people panicking in the comments now, but when I was bullish here and here and here and here, all down here, there was a lot of people saying, yeah, right, we're going back down. But right now, again, what are the chances that we're just doing what we've been doing on this weekly chart for the past like 2 years? There's so much demand, and that's evidenced by, I mean, for example, this is an example of that. Bitcoin purchases, corporate Bitcoin purchases outweighing supply of new Bitcoin by over 3 times. I would not want to be short Bitcoin right here. I would not want to be bearish on Bitcoin. I think it's a very bad losing play, especially in the middle of a bull market, which we are still in. And get signed up with FedEx below if you want Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. No KYC or VPN required if you use my link below. That's pretty good.